So you're finally going to do it. You're going to make that leap. You're going to make that jump. And you actually decided to do DoorDash or just gig work in general full time. Well, good luck to you. And I'm not being sarcastic. I'm not playing, because this is something that's possible to do. Would I encourage it? I'm not going to encourage it, but if you have a made up mind and you know what to do and you really think you can do it, go for it. There's no one out there to stop you. Hey, I understand there are things out in this world. There is some dead-end jobs out there. We have minimum wage out there at $7.25 in places, and there's going to be some states that might be $15 an hour. But if you want to take this all into your own hands, go ahead and bet on yourself. Take control of your own finances. Take control of your own future. Take control. And no matter what you do, give it full force and go all the way. Because if you're going to be doing gig work full time, I'm sure you've already planned and mapped some of these things out. And one of the main things that you need to map out is how much do you need to actually make. And before I keep going, this video isn't me just telling you what to do. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just me, and I'm going to just tell you what I would do if I'm going all in full time doing gig work. So, for example, if I just had a family of 4, me and my wife and 2 kids, even though that's so not me, because it's actually 6 of us. How you doing? But let's just be in hypothetical story of what I'm trying to support. And all these numbers will vary because state to state, city to city, depending where you're at, where some people might have a rent of $1,200 or $1,500 a month. And I know there's gonna be somebody out there, oh, mine's like $2,000-ish. But for this case, we're gonna just calculate $1,500 a month. And that you have a car that you're paying $400 a month, insurance of maybe $200, and how much you spend on food, maybe $800 to $1,000 a month. Then you gotta look at your utilities. Is that somewhere around $250, maybe even $350 a month? And you also gotta calculate the gas that you're gonna be doing. So if you calculate $20 a day, 5 days a week, that's gonna be $100 a week. Then if you look at a monthly aspect, it's gonna be $400. And then let's just say we just put some miscellaneous things in there of, let's just say $100, $200. Then we're going to have up to $4,100 per month that you're going to have to factor in. And saying all of that, I would actually want to put a goal of $250 per day. $225 at the minimum. But that would be for me. Because if we're looking at $250 a day, 5 days a week, we're looking at $1,250 and $5,000 a month. And if our daily goal is $225, we're looking at $1,125 a week, making $4,500 a month. So that is the most important thing to know, is knowing your numbers. How much do you need each month? Since you're going to be doing this full time, you got to know the numbers. So after that, what's next? First, you need to know what market is going to be the very best market for you to dash or just do gig work in. Whether you're doing DoorDash, Uber Eats, or any other delivery app, make sure you have a few in your back pocket. Amazon Flex, Walmart Spark, Instacart, Roadie, Grubhub, just to name a few. Just in case anything bad happens or it's slow in one market or you get deactivated, you already have these apps in place just in case something goes wrong. So let's go back to that very number one thing you need to know is your market. Location is key. If there is a market where you can actually make $25, $30 an hour, go for it, man. Go for it, girl. Go for it. Do what you have to do to make that money. But I know not all areas are just blessed like that. And you might actually have to say, you know what, my goal is actually $20 an hour. Then after you get all your location all figured out, then you gotta know the hours that you're trying and going to be willing to work. And I'm going to use myself for an example, because I know the morning hours in my market is kind of decent, and not just my market, but some other markets in my area that I can just tell just from DoorDash. So I might be out there at like 6 o'clock a.m. So I may even start my day off or schedule my dash at 6 a.m. and I'm going to commit myself to 8 p.m. and also having some small breaks if or when possible, if I even choose to do so. I would probably take a break, or could take a break, around 9:30 to 10:30 and from 3 to 4. But if I'm still got some good orders out there, I'm gonna keep on going till I milk that thing dry. And if I choose not to do some morning hours, I may commit 10 to 3 and 4 to 10. And since I would be my own boss, I'm making up my own hours. The main thing, since I'm doing this full time, I am my own boss. I'm making my own hours. So it's all about, really for me, is hitting my goal. My daily goals to my weekly goals to my monthly goal. But briefly, let's just look at this at a yearly aspect. If we plan on making $500 a week, we're going to be setting ourselves up to making $26,000 a year. If we have an $800 goal each week, we're setting ourselves up for $42,000 a year. If we have a $1,000 a week goal, we're looking at $52,000 a year. But if you're striving to make $1,500 a week, that would be $78,000 a year. So whatever you're trying to make, whatever your goals that you're trying to set, every day you're going to be thinking about, how can I actually maximize my pay? And we already talked a little bit about location, but to go forward in making sure you're in that right location, you also got to make sure you know the right restaurants to be around as well, because you just can't focus on the hot spots. That will not be dependable at all. That just lets you know what's the hot spot maybe that just left. Because a lot of times the hot spot in my area was going to be McDonald's, but that doesn't mean I'm actually want to actually be there. I want to set myself up to be closer to a better restaurant where I get better tips. And you got to have that similar mindset. Then you also have to make sure you're going to be around at those right times, because those peak hours from 11 to 2 and 5 to 9, and of course, all these will vary. But those will be your core hours you want to find yourself working. At least it would be for me. And also about the market is maybe knowing some of these back roads and how to get to point A to point B, checking that map, making sure you're on the best route possible. Because there are a few areas in my market where I'm just like, every time it sends me to a certain somewhere, the extra mile difference, and that's just minutes that I could be shaving if I just turn right at a certain street. I'm not too sure why it does that, but I'm sure since it happens to me, it can happen to you in your market. So know some shortcuts, know some other areas where you could go that will cut your time so you can deliver that item and get right back into the game so you can keep on stacking the orders. Keep up that momentum. And this leads up to the next tip, which is being consistent. Keep staying busy. Keep stacking orders, building that momentum. Now, I'm not saying take an upside down order at all. I'm not saying that. And if you want to know what an upside down order is, well, that is when your miles is over your money. So if your goal is being like $1.50 to $2 per mile, go ahead and stick with that. If it's slow, you might have to vary just a little bit, $1.25 per mile. Anything under $1 is just flat out ridiculous, unless it's bringing you back to your zone and where you're wanting and needing to be. So it's also about just working smart as well. And right above that, you're going to have to motivate yourself. There's going to be days out there when it's going to be hard, it's going to be tough, but you have to persevere and keep on pushing and keep on going. Yeah, not every day is going to be $25 an hour. Not every day is going to be $20. Not everything's going to be $17 or $18 an hour. But your focus will still be is trying to meet that goal. And another thing to remember, this has actually just been like an aspect of just one person working. Now, if you have a wife, husband, a spouse that's actually working with you, well, you don't have to work near as hard and with so many hours. And y'all both hitting those streets, taking delivery after delivery, being consistently out there. That I guess you would have to have 2 vehicles for that. But you know what? If you're both out there making that money, it's going to be all well worth it. Because if the tables are turned, that's what would actually really make things work for me and my family. Because things isn't like it used to be where there's only just one breadwinner. It takes both of us now just to try to get by. And day by day, step by step, us working together as a unit, we can make it happen. Then you don't even have to encourage yourselves. you can encourage each other and be that support for each other and be each other's cheerleader, not bringing each other down, but actually picking each other up. And you know what? It can be fun to joking around and throwing shade every now and then, but just think about it in this aspect. What would it actually be like to be on the flip side and actually be that one to encourage one another, striving to try to make the other person happy? And when y'all both are trying to make each other happy, it turns out to be more of a beautiful thing. So remember, you guys are a team, no matter what job we are doing. But we got to stay focused to meet our goal. And that's what? Provide for our family. Okay, I just went on a small tangent, but let's get back on track. To keep maximizing your earnings, if you have it in your area, focus on some peak pay when it's available, which that's not easy for me to say because in my market, it's like 11 p.m. when peak pay hits and it's only $1. But if you are blessed and if you can get $1, $2 peak pay in your area at the right times, it's time to break the bank and go full force. So make sure you take advantage of these peak pay hours. Now, another thing that I notice a lot of Dashers doing out there, they're actually not being assertive. They're waiting for the actual time that it says on the phone where the food should be actually done. Don't make those rookie mistakes. As soon as you get to the restaurant, go into the restaurant, search yourself, say, I have a DoorDash order for so-and-so. A lot of times, the order is actually ready before it actually says it's ready or going to be ready. And if you can shave a few minutes off of that so you can get to your next order to make some more money, do it. Just keep it rolling and keep it moving. Also remember, do not just take every order, because if you just keep on taking $2 orders, it's not going to be working out, especially if it's a $2 for 4 miles, which I kind of talked about a little bit earlier about those upside down orders to completely avoid. Those will waste your time all to the day along. And another good thing to know is actually be presentable. How would you want somebody to bring your food? If you just look like you just got out of bed, come on now. Show some respect for yourself so people will respect you even more. And when you give that smile, it won't be like, oh, well, at least they smiled. No, it'd be like, oh, you see them, they look pleasant, and they smiled at me. You know what? I think I'm gonna throw in a couple more dollars on their tip. It happens. Look presentable. Don't be dressed just in all in rags. Now, I understand, hey, if that's all you got is all you got, and you can always build yourself up. But if you can present yourself, represent yourself in a high manner. I hope you got some value out of this video. So if you would, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and see me in the next video.